So I'm gonna do a little thing here. I've been doing a lot of work to the Suburban. I have not been very good at documenting it. I'm like, dude, this isn't interesting. This doesn't take very long, but I've done a couple of things here. I got the back tires on. The brakes are all rebuilt. I've been having a hell of a time getting them bled. Come to find out, my proportioning valve, or my combination valve, was defunct, so it's not in there. It goes right there. I got a new one coming. I got taking out the dump valve. The ABS dump valve is disconnected. We're not gonna use that. What I did do, man, I welded up some stirrups because the side steps are pretty high. I welded up a stirrup from my wife. She's a little short. A piece of chain. I was going to use the horseshoe for the stirrup, but I didn't want anything rigid hanging down in case I clip a rock while I take this thing off the road or something, so the chain won't get hung up on nothing. And so another thing I should have done a time lapse of was I finished up my license plate floorboard, which is, in case you can't tell, we're in Texas, and this is a Texas truck. I got the front seats all done up. It looks pretty good. Colorado, Michigan. Oh yeah, I got 5 more coming. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is, as you can see, I had this thing was a 700 R4 at one time, but I got a stick in here. It's a Muncie 465 now. With a 205 gear driven transfer case. But if you look down here, and I did this, I put this stick in. Now granted, I haven't driven this thing in about a year. I've been dicking with the rear axles and hooking them up, but what I got is no clutch pedal. I put this 465 in here probably 2 years ago, and I proceeded to drive it without a clutch pedal it's an easy shift, and it is not a sporty transmission by any means. It came out of a 1-ton tow truck, 1984 K3500 dually tow truck. So the way that it is on these Muncie 465s, it's L 1, 2, 3, and that's it. It's basically a 4-speed, but it's labeled, not labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. It's labeled L 1, 2, 3, and high gear, which is 4th speed or 3rd gear or whatever, is a 1-to-1 ratio. So there's no overdrive, plenty of torque, and I had 456 gears in here, so at 65 miles an hour, at 70, I was pushing 3,000 RPMs, like 2,800 RPMs at 70, maybe a little more. And the old 383 don't like that too much for any long periods of time. Short bursts, no problem, but driving to Dallas or something, they don't like that. So anyways, back to what I was saying, no clutch pedal. I had in the back, I had the clutch pedal assembly from that truck, and somebody stole it. And so I was like, I'll just get another one. And it's all just a mechanical clutch. Yeah, that shit is like gold bars now. If you can find a clutch pedal assembly for a mechanical clutch, man, they are like old, rusty, and beat up, dude. Still like $400, $500, $600, $700, dude. So we're gonna do something different. I am going to put a hand lever for the clutch. Probably gonna go forward with it. So I'm probably just gonna pop out of I'm gonna cut a hole down. I just gotta determine where I wanna put it. So I'm gonna run it down and have a pivot point here. Because what I got to do, if you look under here, all it's got to do, basically under here, oh yeah, that's brake fluid, and I drained out my reservoir. So right underneath, there's my yellow 465 transmission, my 205 transfer case. Yeah, she's leaky. I ain't got to that part yet. Anyways, if you look here, so we're looking somewhere in here is where I want to put, probably somewhere right around in there. I want to just make a little hole. And so basically, we got to grab this. This is the lever for the fork right here. This lever. So you just got to grab the end of that. I don't know if you can see, I got my light up there. So on the end of there is a nipple that I can grab on, and that needs to come back. And as that comes back, it releases it, the throwout bearing, to release pressure off the clutch plate. So I was going to pivot a rod down in here, and as I push that rod forward, it'll bring the bottom of it back, and it should give me tension on that. I just need to release the clutch. I think one day I'll probably put a pedal in here, but I'm just going to fabricate something that's going to work just so I can get this thing out of the garage. I am ready to get out on the road. And my wife, I pushed that button. My wife said if I continued to drive this without a clutch, that she was going to divorce me. Some of y'all would just be like, bruh, is that a promise? And tear out of here without a clutch. I love my wife, so I'm gonna, she didn't say it had to be safe. So I'm gonna put a clutch lever, and I'm gonna do this in a string of videos. I wanna keep this short. I've already just blah, blah, blah forever, but I'm gonna pick a spot. I already got me a piece of I need to clean the shop bad. Got a pretty good, I think this is the piece I'm gonna run with here, is this piece of 3/16. It's almost a quarter, so it's pretty sturdy. That's pretty sturdy. And basically I'm gonna just cut a hole about a slit, maybe 3/8 of an inch wide. I'll probably take a couple little videos. I wish I would have done a time-lapse video of me finishing up the floor on the license plates. That would have been cool. Anyways, so I'm gonna come up in here and I'm gonna look. I guess if I'm sitting here, I guess we want it to be somewhat comfortable. I'm gonna probably put it here, but I want, you know, if I'm in fourth gear or second gear, I don't want to push this forward and hit that. I was thinking it'd be cool to come back, but I need to be able to let go of it and have it stay. So I'm gonna have to have some sort of locking mechanism, and then I want to do like an old handbrake in a train or something, you know, so a squeeze to release it. But I think I'm gonna go forward to engage or disengage the clutch. That way I can bring it down, it locks, I can let go, and then just grab the shifter and then grab it and bring it back. So probably somewhere in here, but I really got to be careful. I can't get down in here. I need to be in this flat part, but the bell housing is right up here, so I don't want to get too far forward. I need to kind of stay back here, so I may just come far back as I can. You know what, I'm just gonna go, probably don't want to cut into the Colorado plate. Yeah, maybe I do. I'll probably cut right between this D and this O, so that this won't ever come back further. This on my, I used to have the console there, I cut it out. I'll probably use this as two things. I'll probably use this as a stop so it won't come back too far, and I'll probably also anchor a spring to this, so when I push the lever forward there'll be spring tension and it'll always bring it back. Looks like that's where I'm going. I guess I'll just drill a little hole here and then go down and see where it's popping out and work off that. See you guys in a minute. All right, it's hot here in Seguin, Texas. got my fan on over there. It might be kind of loud. Oh God, look. Because of my wife. Pretty sure she ain't coming to clean the shop. She's gonna come to tell me that dinner's ready. She wants to be in this video, I guess. Oh no? Dinner ready? No, we don't eat when we're working on the truck, I'll tell you what. So phase one was this piece of rod, and it's not, well, it's flat bar, but it's not very flimsy. It's sturdy, but it ain't sturdy enough. So I went with a bar that I had, but I'm able to get it done. This is gonna work just fine. This is gonna work fine. So I got my hole that I put in here. And what I'm gonna do is I was gonna do a pivot. I think I'm gonna just pivot it on the seat bar, because I can get good, well, that's just what I'm gonna do, because I don't wanna get too intrusive here before I start drilling freaking holes everywhere. So phase two, I got a rod and I welded. So I have this rod that I've had forever. It's a grounding rod for something, and I got it over here cooling. I made like a little golf club. I just ran a little bead there. I know, it's flux core, man. Not bad for a little cricket cracker box. So that's gonna hold. It looks like a little putter. 4, bing. Anyways, can I touch it yet? No, can't quite touch it yet. Anyways, let me get under here. Oh man. So what I did was, found there's a hole right there that I was able to put a quick link in. I'm using chain. So let me back it up. I'm using chain. Oh, what's up, Cheeto? Oh, boom. Cheeto's gonna help. So I'm gonna use this chain, and so here's my hole. This is gonna come back. I put that piece of flat bar so that, because I'm gonna put this on there, but I'm not gonna weld it. I'm gonna run a bolt through there so that I can remove this stuff, because this may not be forever, but if it works good, it'll be almost forever. So this rod that I made with my little putter on the end, watch out, it's hot, Cheeto. This is gonna go up in that hole and do all this one-hander here. Up in the hole, hot diggity dog. Yeah, she's still fresh weld. And then that chain, I'm gonna drill a hole right there and run a bolt through there. And I was already able to pull that back. So I'm gonna put that together real quick, and then I'll hook it back up. Okay, I'm done. It's dark outside. I'm done with the clutch project for the night. It's rudimentary, it's crude. I think it works, but I don't know. I'm about to find out. See, my lovely wife is right there. She's grumpy about being in the shop after dark, but somebody's got to hold the phone to do the video from the outside to make sure I don't kill myself. So I'm up off the ground here. Just because I don't have any brakes. So I jacked it up, lifted the back. We're gonna see if this works. Here's what I did. Real quick, let me get under on my little roly-poly. Ah, there we go. Here we come. Let's see what kind of light we got. Pretty crude and rudimentary. I'm gonna change up the way I got a lot of this, but I got the chain to the to the lever, the release lever, and it basically goes to an S hook right now. And then, throw me that light, please. Baby's gonna throw me a light real quick. So what I did was, I have my bar that goes up in there with my little shoe welded on it. Right now I just got an S clip, which is not awesome. So there's a little bit of slack in it, which doesn't matter. And it goes over to the throw out, or to the lever, the throw out lever. It's But whatever, bruh. We do what it takes to get it done around here. Wiggle Rig Fabrications. Is she smiling? God, I hope so. Anyways, I tried to get her to jump in here and fire it up. She is not about it. The only thing I'm going to tell you about this for sure is that I think I got my pivot point. So there's my clutch right there. Push it forward. Ah, it gotta be strong. Come on. It's hard. It is hard. So I got my hole in the floor there. I'm gonna end up putting a plate. But see, I just welded this piece of rebar on there and used some U-joint, cap clips or whatever. I don't know what the retainers for the yoke. Anyways, I welded up a piece of that, and it's actually screwed to the seat, bolted through. But there's a lot of pressure, so I may end up doing a pulley system underneath or something. I don't know. All I did was I had this piece of bar or this piece of tubing, and I slid it over this just to give me some leverage. And now it's way up here, but when it's way up there, I can do it pretty good. If this pivot point right here was lower or even under the truck, but I really don't have anywhere to brace it under the truck. Anyways, I'm gonna fire it up and see if I have no idea what's gonna happen, man. This thing could pop off the jacks and I could back into the house. Let's find out.
Okay, recording.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a little follow-up video on that. I came in, got some dinner, got cleaned up, put on my Slayer drip. So Mika was not too crazy about that test on the jack stands. Anyways, I don't have any real world experience with this clutch, I lever handle thing, contraption, because I don't have any brakes, so I couldn't drive it out. I think it'll work fine. I've driven it without a clutch for years, and the way it was working, it's really easy to shift on the fly when you're driving. You get, you start to figure out where where the RPMs need to be to shift it from gear to gear. And so it's real easy to shift without grinding, or get the synchros lined up and time it right. It's not a problem. But where the problem is when you come to a stop sign. You know, stop signs aren't that bad. As long as there's no traffic coming, yeah, you just kind of roll through it. But sometimes you get caught with a light. When you get caught with the light, you got to stop. And without a clutch, that's hard. So if I could see I was going to get caught by a light, I'd just throw it in neutral, roll up to the light or wherever I am in traffic, and I'd turn it off. And I'd put it in first gear, or L, and then when the light turned green, I'd start it, and it would creep forward, it would start, and I would just be rolling. I'd start it in gear. So yeah, Mika did not like that. I thought it was awesome. So anyways, that's why I had to do this clutch thing. So there is a couple things I'm going to change about that. While it does work, and you could hear some grinding in that video, and the reason it was grinding is because I don't have any brakes, so I couldn't stop it. So the momentum of the tires was still spinning when I was shifting it into reverse, and then when I put it back in first gear. But and so two things I'm going to do. I'm not going to do them right away because, well, I don't have brakes. The proportioning valve should be in tomorrow. And by the way, if you have a square body Chevy and you need to get a proportioning valve, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advance, Napa, nobody carries them anymore. It's either online or junkyard. And it is too hot to go to the junkyard, so Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow, so I'm going to put that in, get the back brakes bled. As soon as the brakes are bled, you can bet your ass that thing is coming out of the shop. And I'm going to just tear it around the block. And then I might, but then Saturday, my exhaust parts are coming in. I'm going to do some side pipes, connect right under the steps. Just do some side pipes that kick out in front of the back tire. If you paid attention, and while I was under there, you could see some of those welds were terrible on that exhaust, but they've been there forever. I was doing that with a Harbor Freight or Chicago Electric welder years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago. I'll be laying dimes on this one though. You watch. Anyways, then I might get to the upgrade 2.0 or 3.0. So this next, what I'm going to do is two things. On the fork lever, the throwout lever coming out of the bell housing, you could see I'm not out on the end of that. I'm a little bit in on one of those holes, which makes the tension a lot. You know, when you're looking at leverage, the further out you are, the easier it is. I'm closer in. So that has two holes. I'm actually going to, you know, I don't want to weld anything onto the transmission, but since there's two holes there, I'll probably get me a bar and drill through where those holes are on that lever, and then I'll just extend it out. So I'll be able to be about 3 inches further out on the end, which it should be twice as easy because I'm only about 3 inches out. So I'll double that length, which would reduce the torque required in half. So just by moving that out 3 inches, it should be twice as easy. And then on the lever, the actual shift lever handle that I have in the truck, I'm going to move that. My pivot point down to where the chain is connected is probably about 6 inches. And so if I can move that 2 or 3 inches, which I can take that off, grind off the rebar, the cross piece that I have swiveling, and move that down closer to my pivot point, closer to the load, then that should be about twice as easy. So that would make a lot of difference. I'll knock that out after the brakes, after the exhaust, but not before I've driven the shit out of it. Anyways, more later.